Hey guys, been a while since I've done a video, and this video specifically is my first top 10 for this year's college football season. I am yet to do it. I swear every time I do a video, I all of a sudden I get something in my throat. But anyways, this is my first top 10. I wanted to wait through the whole month of October, so 5 weeks of the season, to see how it played out. I don't like I maybe did an initial prediction, but then I'm like, what's it like 5 weeks in the season? Which teams do I think are the top 10 as of October 1st? Sorry, moving around, falling through the pillows. I'm a mess. Let's get this. Number 1 for the first 5 weeks of the season, I'm going to stay with Georgia. I know they didn't look great yesterday. They only won by 4 over Missouri, but they won. They also had the best victory. They beat Oregon by 46 points, first game of the season. I think that's a better victory than any of the other top teams. So I'm going to go with Georgia, number 1. Number 2, I will go with Alabama. I think that Alabama has beaten teams that are pretty good. I think Arkansas is pretty good. They have 2 losses, but I think they're pretty good. I think Texas has 2 losses, but I still think Texas and Arkansas end up being 8-9 win teams. So I'm going to do Alabama, number 2. Number 3, I'm going to do Ohio State. Reason why I have Ohio State below the other 2 is I don't think anyone they have beaten is going to be very good this year. Notre Dame might come back and be a 8-4 team if they're lucky. They still have a lot of really tough games left. But I don't know. I don't even know about them. I know Rutgers is not that good. I know they beat, was it Toledo? They also beat Wisconsin, who's not good, 2-3, just fired Paul Chryst. So Ohio State hasn't beaten anyone good. When they beat Michigan, when they beat Ohio State, then I'll be like, yes, Ohio State, you are good this year. I picked them to win the national title. I have them number 3, but I'm going to put them at number 3 because I just don't think they've beaten anyone that's really that good so far. Number 4, I'm going to go with Clemson. Clemson has 2 very good victories over Wake Forest and North Carolina State. I think those are 2 bona fide top 25 teams. Good victories by Clemson. I think Clemson has some flaws. I went into it in the podcast last week, but guess what? They won. They won both their tough games. They're number 4. Number 5 is a little difficult for me because while I probably would say Michigan on the surface because they were a playoff team last year, Big Ten champion, they have looked good and pretty much won all their games fairly easily, and they're in the top 5 in the AP. They haven't their best victory is Maryland, and they only won that game by 7. I'll go Michigan 5. I'm kind of doing this in real time a little bit, but I don't. Hold on, I'm gonna make sure that maybe I don't. No, I don't have Michigan 5. I have Ole Miss, and I'm perfectly fine with having Ole Miss because Ole Miss had a very good victory over Kentucky. And I think Kentucky is better than any team that Michigan's beaten. So I'm going to go Ole Miss number 5. Number 6, Tennessee. And I believe the reason why I did that is because I think Florida is a better team than anyone that Michigan has beaten. Number 7, then I do Michigan. And I think Michigan is a good team. And if Michigan beats Penn State October 15th here in 2 weeks, then they'll be in my top 5 for sure. But I think right now they need to prove it a little bit more. They just haven't beaten anyone that good. And I still have some question marks. Their offense. J.J. McCarthy ended up winning the starting job. How good is he, really? Number 8, Oklahoma State made the Big 12 championship last year. If they would have won that, might have made the college football playoff. And they're pretty good this year. Beat a pretty good Baylor team. They look solid. They have an experienced quarterback, a good enough defense. I still don't know if I would consider them the best team in the Big 12. I would actually say TCU looks best right now. But Oklahoma State's there for now. They're going to play TCU in a couple weeks. Then they'll decide who's better, I guess. Number 9, Penn State. Penn State's best victory is over Rutgers. No, sorry, not over Rutgers. Over Purdue, opening week game. I think Purdue, who beat Minnesota yesterday, is decent. I still don't think Penn State's beating anyone that good, but I think they have a pretty good roster, solid defense, can run the ball, undefeated. I'm going to go number 9 right now. Number 10, this is tough. It was between pretty much 3 Pac-12 schools. Pac-12 has 5 teams, believe it or not, in the top 25 right now. I went with Oregon over USC and over Utah. Well, I am an Oregon fan. So then I'm invalid, right? And put in the top 10, it's invalid. No. The reason why I am going to lean Oregon here is because Oregon has better victories. They beat a top 25 BYU team by 21 points at home. Washington State is just outside the top 25. They're top in receiving votes. They beat them on the road. I think that's better than any victory of Utah or USC. USC is 5-0, but USC's combined record of the opponents they've played is 9-13. Their best victory is over a 3-2 Oregon State team that actually outplayed USC in that game, and if had they not turned the ball over 4 times, I think they would have beaten USC. And then Utah, their best victory is over Oregon State, and it was a good victory yesterday. But other than that, everyone else they have played is really just not a very good team. Arizona State, San Diego State, I forgot their other victories over like an FCS school. I think Utah's good, and I would put probably Utah 11, USC 12, but I think Oregon has a better victory. They have a terrible loss, but at this point, I wanted one team for the Pac-10 because I think the Pac-10 is pretty good. Pac-12. It's going to probably go back to being the Pac-10, but it's Pac-12. So anyways, that's my top 10. Georgia 1, Alabama 2, Ohio State 3, Clemson 4, Ole Miss 5, Tennessee 6, Michigan 7, Oklahoma State 8, 9, Penn State, and number 10, Oregon. That's my top 10 as of October 1st, 2022.